everybody, it's the Warhipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial from the old world. Yes, we are back once more with Grand Cathay, and today we are painting the Grand Cannon. Yes, we have a Grand Cannon here. The Fire Rain rocket battery is something that we haven't got to hand. We could build one eventually, but for now you could use this one to basically paint the rocket battery. The only real change is that the rockets have got red on the tips of their missiles. By the way, we're going to be painting this one up today. We've got a bit of admin to get through, so this is basically a tutorial of 3 parts almost. We have the cannon, and we have the crew, and then we have a little bit more work to do on the ogre, because these 3 are fairly similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint the cannon, then we're going to do the 4 crew at the same time. But we're probably going to spend a lot more time on the ogre. So it's technically a 2-parter, but it's kind of in 3. And all 5 of our models have been primed in Grey Seer. That is all the admin. So we're just going to pop all of this to one side, grab our paints, grab our brushes, and then we'll get started. So there's not an actual huge amount of contrast paints that is being used here on the cannon, which is why we're doing it first, get it out of the way. But the first one we are going to use is some Flesh Tearers Red. And we're going to apply this over top of, well, basically the field of these connectors on the carriage. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors, and we're going to apply this over top of what is essentially the support frame of the cannon. So it's going to be these kind of, well, these sort of tails, and then we've got this sort of frame here, and we've got the caps on the wheels as well as stuff like the metallic stuff just here on that support beam, and this part of the carriage as well. So with all that Iron Warriors applied, don't worry if you've made a bunch of mistakes all over the top of the sort of interconnecting spokes and stuff like that. It's to be expected. It just happens. Anyway, our next colour is going to be some thinned down Castellax Bronze. And we might require 2 thin coats of this, just because we're going over the top of the actual cannon itself. There's large, smooth details. However, if it does require 2 thin coats, that's okay. And if it only requires 1 thin coat, even better. With that Castellax Bronze all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour. We're going to apply this over top of almost all of our remaining details. So we're not going to apply this over top of any wood. We're not going to apply this over the top of the little symbol of, I'm guessing that's a Cathayan symbol. It's been a while. But yeah, we're just going to apply this over top of all of these other bits. And then once that's done, we'll come back. So now that we're fully base coated across the entirety of the cannon, it's time to add some shades, and we're going to start with some Agrax Earthshade. And we're going to be using this over top of all of the wood, so it's not just shading we're doing here. So we're going to use this over top of all of the wood, but we're going to use this to shade all the silver as well. And we don't want to be like too heavy with it, but we do want it to have that sort of slightly brownish tint to it, as you can see on the box art. So if you need to, you can just thin this down a little bit, just have a little bit more control. You shouldn't need to, but you know, Choice is yours, of course. And with that Agrax Earthshade all applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade and we're going to apply this over top of the gold and the Castellax Bronze. And with all that Reikland Fleshshade applied, we're then going to take some Nuln Oil and we're going to apply this over top of the insignia. Like that. And the other thing we're going to do with the Nuln Oil is over the sort of inlays on the cannon, we're going to apply this as well. And for one more shade, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Berserker Bloodshade and we're going to apply this over the top of the sort of flat parts of the cannon. So now that all those shades are fully applied, it's time to add some highlights. And, well, the majority on this are actually going to be dry brushes. So, first of them is going to be some Ironbreaker. We're going to use this to dry brush all the silver. With that silver dry brush all applied, we're then going to take some Liberator Gold and we're going to dry brush this over the top of all the gold. And with that Liberator Gold dry brush all applied, we're then going to take some Runelord Brass and we're going to dry brush this over the top of the cannon. And for our final dry brush, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Canoptek Alloy. We're going to very gently go over the top of the large areas of gold and over the top of the cannon itself. And so to finish off part 1 of this video, we're going to take some thinned down Corax White. I'm going to use this to relayer the motif. Pretty sure I've called this 3 different things now. And with that, our cannon is all done. So we can pop it off the painting handle. We can pop our ogre onto this one because it doesn't fit on the other one. And we're going to move on to the crew now. And we're just going to start here on the ogre. And the colour we're going to be using first is Flesh Tearers Red. And we're going to be applying this over the top of their sort of studded leather tunics. So with all of that Flesh Tearers Red applied, we're then going to take some Ultramarines Blue. And we're going to apply this over the top of all of that lovely sort of piping around the outside of these tunics. With all that Ultramarines Blue applied, we're then going to take some Seraphim Sepia and we're going to apply this over top of any off-white fabric. So we've got the sort of inner clothes, like this one just here, and we've got the sort of the bit around their necks as well. And so with that all done, we're now going to take some Black Legion. And we're going to apply this over the top of things like boots, belts, hair, straps, and ultimately any other details that you want to be black. And of course, as always, just have the box art open in front of you, because there is rather a lot of sort of small black details scattered around. And with all that Black Legion applied, we're then going to take some Cygor Brown and we're going to apply this over top of almost all the remaining leather. With that all done, we're then going to take some Gore-Grunta Fur and we're going to apply 2 layers of this over the top of all the wood. So with that all done, we're then going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over top of the barrel. Back here. And then next up we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and we're going to apply this over top of all of the ropes. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. And we're going to apply this over top of all of the remaining like little satchels and sacks and sort of non-metallic and non-flesh details. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Guilliman Flesh and we're going to apply this over top of all of the skin. And so with that all done, we're then going to take a roughly 2 parts Lahmian Medium to 1 part Basilicanum Grey mix. And we're going to apply this over top of the cannonballs. There's one here and there's one on the other gentleman carrying the cart. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some Space Wolves Grey. We're going to apply this over top of this fish. And with that all done, we're then going to take some Blood Angels Red. And we're going to apply this over top of the sigil on our ogre's tummy. And we're going to apply this over top of the seals on the sacks of our cart carrier. So with that all done, it's now time to add some metallics. And we're going to start with some thinned down Iron Warriors. We're going to apply this over top of any blades, any armour, and any sort of functional details. And so with all of that silver applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour and apply this over top of all of our remaining details. And with that, it's time to add some shades. So, first of these is going to be some Nuln Oil. And we're going to apply this over top of the silver, but we're also going to apply this over top of the red as well. And with that Nuln Oil all applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade. I'm going to pop this over the top with all the gold. So with that all done, our crew are now at what I would call a Warhipster battle ready. Looking pretty good. However, we are now going to take them to the next level by adding just a couple of highlights. We've got sort of about 9 or so to do. So, well, what we're going to do is we're going to jump in, start away. That doesn't make any sense, but we're going to do it anyway. The first one we're going to be doing is some thinned down Fenrisian Grey. I'm going to be using this to highlight the blue. So with that Fenrisian Grey all applied, we then take some thinned down Evil Sunz Scarlet, and we use this to highlight the red. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone. We're going to use this to highlight all the black details. So that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some Tuskgor Fur. I'm going to gently dry brush this over the top of all of our brown. Just to give it a little bit of a lift. With that all done, we're then going to take, once again, in this video, some Corax White. We're going to use this to relayer that little logo just there. And so with that all done, we're then going to take some thinned down Kislev Flesh. I'm going to use this to highlight all the skin. So with that all done, we're then going to take a little bit of Berserker Bloodshade. We're going to apply this inside the mouth of our ogre. And with that all done, we then take a little bit of Black Legion and we apply this over the top of all of their eyeballs. And so with that all done, we then want to take a teensy tiny little bit of Screaming Skull. We're going to apply this in the corners of each of the eyeballs. Just like that sort of thing. But we're also going to use this to pick out the teeth and highlight any of our bony details. So with that all done, it's now time to highlight the metallics. I'm going to start with some thinned down Ironbreaker. I'm going to use this to highlight all the silver. So to finish things off, I'm going to take some thin down Liberator Gold. I'm going to use this to highlight all of the gold. And there we have it, with the base complete in the same style as the rest of our Cathay and indeed most of our old world. Our Grand Cannon battery is now finished. And, well, as I was going through this, I thought, hold on a minute, this recipe is pretty much what you'd use for most of the new stuff as well. So, yeah, I mean, it just kind of makes sense, right? So if you want to paint the peasants, well, this is the video for you as well, because I don't have any peasants to paint, unfortunately. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful, amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done, scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.